All right, what's going on, y'all? Good evening. We are live from the League Studios over here in the rural cities of Virginia. I am Chris One of the Chris One Radio Group, and I'm going to do a show tonight, and I want to talk about somebody that I normally don't do this. I normally don't talk about people. But I felt it necessary to talk about this individual because, quite frankly, I don't like Democrats. I actually hate Democrats. I hate Democrats with a passion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about this gentleman tonight as we rock out here tonight on Seven Cities Radio, brought to you by Chris One of the Chris One Radio Group. Good evening, y'all. I am so glad you guys can be here. You guys could be anywhere else in the world, but you decide to rock out with me, and I definitely appreciate that. So I want to talk about something tonight. I want to talk about something tonight as we do this thing until 6:30 tonight. I want to talk about something. And I want to talk about Mr. Ralph Northam. And there's a reason why I want to talk about Mr. Ralph Northam. And I want to talk about Mr. Ralph Northam because Ralph Northam, I don't think Ralph Northam knew I don't think Ralph Northam had any idea that he, in fact, figured out that sometime in the future that he was going to be a governor. So what happens is the unfortunate for him and the great thing for us, especially people like myself that hate Democrats. I hate Democrats. For individuals that follow me on my other radio platforms, you know I hate Democrats because they don't do nothing but enable black folks. Democrats don't do nothing but promise black folks stuff. As a matter of fact, the Democratic Party, they stand on enabling and giving when in fact the Republican Party stands on empowerment and self-sufficiency. That's what you get. That's why you get a governor, I'm sorry, you get a president in office like one Mr. Donald Trump, and he's not interested in this 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 lame perception of what people, especially black folks, consider government. It is a shit. Um, it is a shit process to say the least. I have nothing nice to say about the guy. All right, so Mr. Ralph Northam, who is Mr. Ralph? Who is Mr. Ralph? Who is Mr. Ralph? Really? Who is Mr. Ralph Northam? Mr. Ralph Northam is the governor of Virginia, my man. And he's a Democratic governor, so being a Democrat means that I don't like him. I'm sorry. I don't like him. So, but I think it's only fair that even though I don't like the guy, as a person that does this thing here, and I appreciate my craft. I think it's only right to present this to you guys as a story. So we're gonna do that right now. So I'm gonna read to you this article, and this article is from New Hampshire Public Radio. And this is what it says, and I'm so delighted. It says more Democrats press Virginia Governor Ralph Northam to resign. And just so y'all don't understand, the lieutenant governor for all the individuals are saying, all the black people that saying, oh well, we're gonna get a black governor. Yeah, they got some dirt on him too. We'll do him next week. So this in fact was just updated. 6:06 Eastern Standard Time. For those that don't know, we are in Virginia. This, in fact, is Seven Cities Radio, 98.3.com FM. I am Chris One of the Chris One Radio Group. I have this radio format as well as league radio, as well as live radio, as well as unplugged radio. I do this thing daily on multiple different platforms. You guys are here with me on the Seven Cities Radio platform, and I appreciate that. You guys could be anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me, and I appreciate that. So let's get into it. Let's read what this says. And it says this: Virginia Governor Ralph Northam facing mounting pressure to step down Sunday after racist photos published of his 1984 medical school yearbook page sparked controversy on Friday that has been unable to contain or control. So this picture of the governor that they try to keep on the wraps is unable to contain, nor that it is now out there. It has gone viral, and now the governor himself can't control it. Once again, the governor is a Democrat, and I hate Democrats. You know, one of the things that kind of gets me, that kind of punches me in the head, punch me in my head, is when I see a sentence that start off with "and." Times has changed. So let me continue. The sentence starts off with "and." Okay. And one of Northam's biggest problems is that the loudest, most strategic, calls for his resignation are coming mostly from political allies, Democrats from across his state and across the country. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why the Democrats is calling for this man's resignation. People, here's what everybody thinks, because, the average person doesn't know. Number one, Donald Trump is doing a real good job. He's doing a real good job. He may not be doing a good job from the perspective of Twitter. He may not be doing a good job from the perspective of how you feel about him. However, when it comes to his job as president, he is doing an outstanding job. Donald Trump is in a position where it's just one of those things where they don't like him, so they're not going to microscope or really look at what he is doing to say, oh, this man is in fact doing a good job. Everybody want to ignore the fact that our 45th president is doing an adequate and a damn good job. Everybody want to ignore that. And people want to ignore that because it is easy. People want to ignore that because if they actually pay attention to what this man is doing, then like Sean Combs back in the 90s to the day, you're going to have to love the guy. Nonetheless, with this thing happening with the governor, Democrats, what they don't want, Democrats do not want to lose momentum. Here's what Democrats think. Democrats are under the impression, and what they're saying to themselves is, we got Donald Trump and the Republicans on the ropes. Anything that you say or do that's going to shine a negative light on the Democratic Party, we want to get you up out of there. We don't want you around. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter Really? It really doesn't matter what this man is doing and what this man has done. It's really kicking some real bad light on the Democratic Party. So this is why everybody's calling for his resignation. Behind the scenes, what they are saying is, with this man doing what he's doing, it's really going to, hurt the chances of. It's going to hurt the party in its entirety. It's not just going to hurt him. It's not about him. It's what they're under the impression right now. Okay, so it says former Virginia Governor Terry McAfee appeared Sunday on CNN's State of the Union and said, "Resign is morally the thing to do." Northam, excuse me, was lieutenant governor under McAfee. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Virginia Democrat Donald McEaton told NBC Meet the Press, "I haven't spoken to him since Friday. I believe at this time he is apologetic for having been in that photo and that sort of thing." So I was really surprised when the next day he comes out and says, "Hey, it wasn't me." This is what the governor is saying. The governor is saying that this is not him. You know, it's not me. Okay, it's not him. So far, Northam has resisted. Um, Northam has resisted calls for his resignation. And in the press conference on Saturday, he didn't recall appearing in the photo, and that he was neither was it him or the two individuals in the photos depicted in his yearbook on his yearbook page. One dressed in blackface, the other as a member of the Klu Klux Klan. This, despite acknowledging on Friday that he was in the more than 30-year-old image. So basically, what he is trying to sell, and remember, he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat. He added, um, he did not recall the photo. He did not remember dressing in blackface as Michael Jackson for a dance concert. At about the same time, the yearbook was published. On Sunday, Republican Karen Bass, Republican, chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus, told NPR's Michael Martin on All Things Considered, "The governor has absolutely no credibility. One day he comes out and says, 'I apologize for the photograph,' and then the other day he comes out and says it wasn't me." And that's true. So let me just say this. Me personally, should he resign? Of course he should. But my question to you is, what would that say about a man that resigns? What would that say about him? What would that say about a man that resigns? People, let me tell you something, and let me tell you one thing that I noticed. One thing that I noticed in my short years of living here on this earth. What I've noticed is when it comes to being apologetic, people will say it and it won't have any meaning. Here's what I mean when I say that. People will say, "I apologize." and they will say, I apologize, under the context of it is a definite that you're going to forgive me. A definite that you'll forgive me. Other than that, I don't see people on this on the stage in which we call life today. I don't see a lot of people quick to apologize. I don't see it. What I see and what I have seen in my short years of living, and what I'm seeing now is I see a lot of individuals that is looking at this thing like it would, like he's looking at it. It'll blow over. I don't have to apologize. I don't want to apologize. I don't want to even acknowledge this thing, because once I acknowledge it, then I have to then. What are you going to do about it? It's okay. You did it. Now what do we do? Where do we go from here, et cetera, et cetera. And me personally, I know for a fact um, that the unfortunate of this governor is this: this job is bigger than him. This job is bigger than him. Oh, what a tangle web we weave. Here's a man that did something back in 1984, had no idea. If only he had a crystal ball. If only he had a crystal ball where he can look into the future and see that he, in fact, wasn't indeed going to be the governor of Virginia. Oh, my goodness. I appreciate that. This man had no idea that, let's go 1984, 35 years ago. This man had no idea that 35 years ago, this photo would come back to haunt him. He had no idea. Let's think about that for a second. Right? Let's think about it for a second. This this guy, talking about the governor now. He he's like, this is the governor now. He's like, yo, hey, hey, let's do this. Blah 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 blah. And remember, y'all, remember, he's a Democrat. Boy, I hate Democrats. And so he um he dresses up in blackface, or the KKK, because people want to be clear about something. Let me go personal for a second. Me personally, I don't see somebody doing something 30 years ago as an issue. I don't. I don't see somebody doing something 30 years ago as an issue. I don't see somebody, listen, if 30 years ago you used to rock the blackface, hey man, it's cool. It really is. 30 years ago, my favorite car was Cadillacs. I drive that silver thing outside the window. I gave the Prius the day off. 30 years ago, we were all different. 30 years ago, you couldn't have, like, 30 years ago, oh shit, 35 years ago. 35 years ago, I was riding mopeds. 35 years ago, I was riding mopeds. A lot's changed, man. Get a guy a break. No. Don't give him a break. He should resign. Remember, he's a Democrat. Fuck that. Get him out of there. I don't like Democrats. If you're a homeowner, you shouldn't like Democrats neither. If you listen, if you like Democrats, you're a fleefer flopper. You know what a fleefer flopper is? That's what you are. If you like Democrats, you're a fleefer flopper. You shouldn't like Democrats. So, with that being said, the guy should get fired. He should resign. But like I said, 35 years ago, 35 years ago, I was writing, listen, 35 years ago, I was riding mopeds. This guy dressed in blackface, this guy dresses in blackface, chilling out. The guy in the Klu Klux Klan outfit is probably his cousin. And let's be clear, because I know what you black folks are thinking. We want to keep a Democrat in office. That's what you want to do? I know what you're thinking. We want to keep a Democrat in office. Well, they got some dirt on the lieutenant governor, too. We're going to do that show tomorrow. They got something on him, too. They got something on him, too. They got something on him, too. Here's a guy. Here's a guy that comes into office, and when all this stuff, here's what people were saying. This is what people were saying. People were saying, hey, you know what? We're about to have a black governor. This is what people were saying. People were saying, hey, you know what? We're about to have a black governor, right? I was like, why? How is this happening? But the question I had to ask is he a Democrat? I hate Democrats, man. Fucking hate them. I fucking can't stand them. So I said, well, damn. Is he a Democrat? Say, yeah, he's a Democrat. I said, so what's going on? They said, because I did a show earlier on my other platform. Um, People nowadays are becoming hate hunters. They don't want anything, you know, relevant in life. Everything about them is they're hate hunters. And so with that being said, what the hell is going on here? With that being said, um, people are rolling around and they can't help it, but to constantly keep find, but to constantly keep find things that they can hate on because they have nothing going on in their life. So individuals have become hate hunters, and when you're dealing with a hate hunter, you're dealing with somebody that want anything that they can get into via forfeiture. They want a forfeiture. Now, check this out. Check this out. I want y'all to check this out. Listen to what I'm about to say. Let me say this. Let me throw this in there, man. I got 5 minutes. Check this out. I want y'all to check this out. I just said earlier about Democrats. Democrats, they want to give you stuff. They want to keep you enabled. Republicans, Republicans want to make you strong. They want to make you independent. This is what they want to do. So Democrats and Republicans, they have different agendas. All right? They have different agendas. Now listen to what I'm about to say. They have different agendas. Um, they have different agendas. So check this out. A lot of people that hate. This is what I don't understand. If you own a home, if you own a home, if you drive a, if you own a home and you got a 9 to 5, I really don't understand how you are a Republican. You could probably get me to understand. I could probably understand if you just got a job. I will not understand if you own a home. If you own a home and work, I don't understand how you are a Democrat, because your property taxes is going up, and your property taxes are going up, and they're getting you when you work. Of course, there's a whole bunch of Shaquitas out there that don't want no job. There's a whole bunch of Shaquitas out there that said, I'm not working. It ain't happening. I'm just not working. I'm not getting no job. Damn what you say. I'm not getting no job. All right. So, with that being said, how do you navigate yourself through life? And how do you navigate yourself through life under the context of, you know, I am, I'm a, you know, I'm a vote for somebody that's going to raise my property taxes. I'm going to vote for somebody that's going to raise my property taxes because they're so in favor of, they're in favor of people that want to sit on their ass and don't work. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't. I don't get that. Not today, not tomorrow. Me, I just don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't. I don't. Um, People, it is time to put a bow on this thing. I always appreciate sitting in with you for this edition of Seven Cities Radio. I am Chris One of the Chris One Radio Group. And I really appreciate you guys for being here. You guys could have been anywhere else in the world. If you got anything you want to talk to me about, you can email me at Seven Cities Radio Management. That is Seven Cities Radio Management at gmail.com. And I will definitely catch you guys on the next one. Later, y'all.